Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. Voices cracky, too much yelling at Madden. So, spoilers. I did not expect at all for this series to introduce a new xenotype form.
But that was Prometheus first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, is this how he's made?
I loved it. It let out an audible gasp from the audience. What the fuck is that? Because at one point, let's back up a little bit and go instead to the CGI thing. So we alluded to CGI is done perfectly, practical effects done perfectly, except for one critical moment where they dropped the ball. Where'd they drop the ball, Alex, on the effect?
You talking about Ian Holmes' face?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a character, Rook, the android from the first film. Now, they didn't need to do this, you know, and I don't understand why his face is CGI and such a poor CGI effect. Because it stands out.
Yeah.
The whole film. And he has multiple scenes where you're close in on his face. And
I was
not
like,
until...
what did he say? I was looking at his face.
Lips, eyes, open mouth looks really weird. Video games have looked better, honestly. And it sticks out like a sore thumb because everything you're immersed. It is literally the perfect atmosphere, and they fucked up that huge thing. And that's a huge thing. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping in the DVD they can improve that. It's that Luke Skywalker really bad Disney Plus CGI face effect. The first one, not the second one where they got a little bit better. And it's so here's how you could have done it. Portions of his face that are covered with all of the white blood and debris from a damaged android looks way better. Do that throughout the face, okay? Cover it even more. We don't even need to recognize the actor, you know? Have Rook right there. People who have seen the first film will know who that is, and people who haven't seen the film will fucking cool. It's a cool little Easter egg when they go watch it and they say, oh shit, that's okay. But to them, it's just a creepy android from the evil company who has been doing evil shit here. And that's what and later on it looks slightly better when he's on the screen. So I kept daydreaming could they have introduced this character while keeping him hidden in the shadows the whole time, and then later on the screen show him, because he looks slightly better there since the screen's all kind of fuzzy in a little bit. But wow, it's really bad. You didn't need to do that. Okay. Big reveal number 2 is, so Rook has decided to, in the company's best interest, and what Wayland was trying to do himself is they revere the creature as the perfect organism. It's said multiple times in the Aliens franchise. And so they're finally doing something with it. What are they doing? They are fucking condensing down the juices in DNA. We'll just call it fucking DNA soup. They put the fucking facehugger in a blender and they fucking, get juice from it. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if it makes sense. But they have, you can call it royal jelly. You know, if you're a big Alien fan, then you know what royal jelly is, something like that. But they extract the alien essence that allows it to, mutate, transform, take traits from, things, and boil it down into an injection. And it's like black liquid. So it's like, okay, cool. That reminds me of the black liquid in Prometheus, which, is kind of stupid. And
unfortunately, remind me of the black liquid from Prometheus.
And I didn't like that. That one's stupid. This one, I like a little more. Yeah. It's monster. When you're playing with horror and monsters, because they show, they inject a rat. And this rat previously, high gravity, got all, its skeleton, its bones got crushed under this high gravity, because they're thinking, okay, well, a lot of our colonies are failing because of various conditions and hardships and stuff. And if we could just make the human organism the perfect organism like the aliens are, then we can, proliferate throughout the galaxy. Cool. Interesting idea. Makes sense. The company doesn't give a fuck about people and what it does to them. Yeah. And so they inject the rat with it, and you see the rat gets its bones repaired and back and can function in high gravity. But then later on, cool little thing, it shows, that's the screen, and then it fucking pans over and it shows the cage that the rat was in the video. And it's this big fucking bloated, disgusting fucking bloater rat that it's a cross between xenomorph, architecture and rat architecture. And it's, ugh. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so I thought later on, and we got a pregnant lady in the film. And I knew right away where they were going to go with it. I knew that eventually she was going to be injected with it, and they're going to do something fucked up with the pregnancy. And I don't know about you, but one of the best parts of, Resident Evil, when that big-headed baby was coming, and me and Joe were like, we fucking hate babies. Anything with babies creeping around, crawling around. Yeah. At one point, there's a baby. The fucking baby alien baby human. Alien baby, and we finally get one in your face.
That's fucking weird.
So we have the mother who injects herself, which
she's about to die.
She shouldn't have injected herself.
Yeah.
Really, no reason to. I guess the Rook convinced her to inject herself. Also tried to get her to leave her friends behind by hitting the autopilot, and he would take her to where she needed to go. But she didn't do that part because she loved her friends still. But she did that part, which then mutated her. Now, I expected to see at one point in the final, and then the film ends, and then there's a second film, just like Aliens, where it's like, oh, we just got done with the perfect organism, but he's on the ship. And this time, it's the alien, it's her cryo chamber has a problem. She pops out, and we have a pregnancy scene of the fucking baby, and it comes out of the
big ass fucking cocoon.
No CGI, just a cocoon.
She did,
and it's like a seed. It's like a pod. It's like a pea pod. It's like an alien, and it has like a vagina. It's just weird. It's just weird as fuck, and it's perfect. And it drops, and it's acid already all over the place. Boom, falls through to the cargo hold, and you see like the little baby head for just like, half a second. You're like, what the fuck is that? Because it's all like fucked up looking, black eyes and just like misshapen. And then, so from that stage, you knew that it was going to grow super fast. Who knows where it is? And you're on the thing. And then at one point, the shot pans and the baby is back and he's looking. And that's when the audience is like, what the fuck?
They're 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a gross thing about it. I thought it would be like small or some kind of little baby, but no, it's super elongated, very long limbs, and its center section is all fucked up with a little booty hole for a vagina or something right in the front.
Right there.
Yeah, it was really weird. And I was like, I don't know what the abilities are of this thing, but I am scared. And it's like stealthy too. It was gross. Probably could have pushed it better in some aspects, but it has that gross unfinished feeling because it's like, well, it's not a natural evolution. It's kind of this gross mutated version because she injected it during pregnancy and stuff. So I like that. However, during this, the two people that survive is her surrogate brother, the android,
Andy and Rain.
Right? But I thought Andy would have to deal with the mother because they showed the rat going, and I thought she would turn into this bloater blob
she
thing.
injected herself too,
Right.
so I would have figured.
But she never does.
No.
And it looked like she was about to.
Yeah,
But she doesn't do
touching
it.
some.
That.
She
But
got some goo.
again,
some.
See, I thought it was like, what is it going to be another chest burster? Did she
Yeah.
also get in? But so that's why I thought she was going to mutate. And what happens? She really doesn't do anything.
No, the baby
comes
kills
back.
her.
Eats her.
Eats her.
Yeah.
That's it.
The baby comes back, smells the mom, and it's showing somewhat like, oh, it's just mom. He's not going to do anything. But
Nope.
then she's like, she's scared of it, and I don't know if you could
Shit.
see his
Will be too.
attitude changes, and then the next scene he's like fucking eating her and shit. And you're like, oh, gross.
That's fucking weird.
It was weird.
Did
And
not
he has
expect
a
that.
mouth and a mouth. He's got the double mouths, but his mouth is like a penis tentacle thing. It's gross.
Yes.
That's perfect. I was like, I never expected. I'd have been happy if the film had done edit, and I'd still been like, wow, that's awesome. Probably like 7 out of 10. But then when we get a whole nother mini movie on, and it's like the Nostromo, when we go off and do the separate thing. So we get that whole thing, and it's basically Alien Resurrection with that whole baby. That baby went the bitter beer face alien. Remember that one?
It's horrible.
At the end, yeah, they got sucked out. And the Resurrection sucked, man. And this is basically Resurrection done again. That's why I said you don't have to worry about Resurrection no more. That never happened. This is Resurrection because it covers basically the same kind of thing.
See, for me, that was fine. But, like, if that was cut out and then played more with the xenomorphs, that would have been way cooler. Because the thing that I was talking about is, like, the xenomorphs start charging her. And, like, she kills, like, 10 of them or whatever. The most dangerous thing is, like, their blood.
Yeah.
That's what we're actually afraid of now.
I was very mad at first because I was like, okay, you're going to put a pulse rifle in it. I love it. And it's a white pulse rifle. I love it because the scientists on the scientist ship. Now, they did the half measure. They said, okay, and then it never went.
It's a smart gun.
It's a smart gun. It's a cross between the pulse rifle and the smart gun because of the stock will help you do it. I was like, all right, interesting. I don't like it at first. Now I like it. I'm like, all right, fine. But, it's not mainstay. We still have smart guns and we still have pulse rifles. This is just for super fancy scientists, but it expands on the lore, and I like that. And then, but they said no shooting. He's like, gives them the guns. Why you give me the guns if you said no shooting? Because we're on the bottom floor of the space station, and if the blood seeps through the ground, then we all have a catastrophic failure and space, and we die. And I was like, oh shit! So this bait and switch. I don't get my fucking Marine. I don't get my pulse rifle sound. They got the pulse rifle sound wrong, but that's fine because it's a hybrid smart gun pulse rifle sound, so it can sound different. It's a scientist elite spec ops version. But they do fire. I was like, oh, thank God. She comes up with an interesting, creative idea where if we go into gravity, then all the acid, it's kind of contained. It'll swirl a little bit. It won't, stay on an object and push through the ground. So I was like, oh, that was so creative. And honestly, the film needed something. And I was like, oh my God, we're running out. We need something. And thankfully, it was a badass creative scene. She kills a bunch of the drones. I'm gonna call them drones because these warriors wouldn't have given a shit. They imply, why'd you give us the guns? Oh, because they do threat assessment. And if you're pointing a fucking gun at you, they're like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. That's not what the aliens did on LV. They don't give a fuck if you have guns. They just, I'm coming at you because there's more a horde mentality. But that's why I was saying it actually follows the alien biology and survival instinct. They're like, okay, we're retrying. We're trying to start our hive. We're trying to start these things. We need a few of you intact, and we want to proliferate. But, so they were very timid. And then when she started shooting them, they're like, all right, it's on, bitch. And they try to come.
Well, we got to go to the ends. Everyone just got to die now.
Yeah.
It was like, oh,
it's on, bitch. And then so they, think a few would stay behind. A few did, actually.
Yeah.
Because you get the elevator scene. So you get another. So this was great. And you see it in the trailer, this zero-G stuff. I'm like, I hope that pays off. And frankly, it does pay off. So eventually, after she kills them on, you get the spinning acid, which was so cool to go in between. I wish one of them would have got burned a little more. She uses the pulse rifle to switch directions in the air to avoid. Later on, the gravity machine, has a reset every so often. So even more tension. You got to hurry up and climb this big thing before the gravity does. She doesn't get there in time and she's falling and it's just cool. And then she actually should have died right there. But one of the aliens goes, scoops her up. And this
Safely.
This is the part where I like.
Not with the fucking
I like
spike.
that, Joe. I like that because it shows intelligence from the alien. It's like, I need more people to fucking put in my hive. So I'm going to catch you. And sometimes the alien will fuck you up. Like, I'll fucking, slash you right through the shoulder all the way through. I don't care about your health so as long as you can give birth to another xenomorph and help me proliferate. So, but this one does take care of her, doesn't hurt her. So that's why you're saying, well, why didn't it at least, impale her? But he might have thought that if I impaled her, she would have died at that distance and height. Who knows? But he saves her. And just then, that's when the elevator comes down. So then she jumps to the fucking ladder and it smashes some of the aliens down. There is one more alien. How does that one get taken care of?
He was hidden, and then the synth jumps down, shooting him.
Oh, yeah.
Like in midair. Get away from you.
So we have to talk about that moment. They say the line, get away from her, you bitch. And I'm like, but this doesn't make sense. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. I get it. It's a crowd. That's when the crowd is like going like this. I'm like, no.
They got some laughs.
It did get some laughs. And because he's a little neurotic, he goes, get away from her. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Stop there. Don't say the second part. Then he says, you bitch. Something like that.
You said that? Yes.
I think a lot of people liked it, and
they did.
And I kind of liked it, but it's like, no, We don't want
It was
to do that.
unnecessary.
So now what that means is he said that line before Ripley. You know that because this is an interquel. So it's like, no, man, this is stupid.
What did you think of? So she's safe, pregnant lady's safe, and the synth, who is a murderous bastard who has nothing, does not want to help them at all, is having a seizure on the floor, and she gives up her opportunity. She thinks she's giving up her opportunity to go back and save him.
So this is another thing.
Whereas,
where
like,
it's a sub story where her life sucks. She is working in the mines, and she finally works off all of her hours. Weyland Yutani's in control of everything. She goes just like the scene, in Star Trek where the Empire's like, you're just a number, and it's like, no, you have another 250 hours to serve, or 12,000 hours, right?
Yeah, 5 more
and she's
years.
like, are you fucking kidding me? And, but she has this android with her, and he is this timid person. He's damaged. I don't know. I would like to know how that happened. I would like to know, androids they're not cheap, and she's not exactly rich. She's poor.
Her dad found
Her dad found him.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a story there, and it's interesting. We can get, and maybe he's programmed. He's got some secrets in him that were never revealed in this film.
Dad jokes.
That can be in the future.
Yes, I
He
love
does have
that.
dad jokes.
Yes,
he
I
does,
loved it.
He does do the dad jokes. But he's timid, and she has to take care of him, and he feels a little bit like a failure and not a protector, and that's part of the subplot. Is that at one point he gets reprogrammed with portions of Rook in him to get the security, and then he
Software
is
update.
able to protect people. But it does have that duality of, oh shit, is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? I like that because that's what the androids do. But once they pull that chip out, then he turns right back into the baby.
He was a good guy because he's like, hey, look, I can't do this. I'd rather save us than her.
Oh,
Yeah,
in that situation, like, the humans were portrayed a little.
Yeah.
So and at some point, to Alex's point, he gets turned off, or he just falls. I don't really know why he falls. He's walking and he notices the blue light. I don't really understand why the blue light was there. I thought that was going to tie into something else, but he's noticing the blue light. We do this scene. The next scene, he's on the ground whimpering.
He gets hit by the
Okay, a tail of one of the. That's what it
like
was.
he goes and saves
One of the
He
drones.
goes and saves Rain, and it kind of hits him, and he
And
gets
then that's
knocked
why
down.
he's on the ground doing this. But at this point, he's still very much, like, according to her, like a bad guy. And so she decides to go back for him to see if she
it's
could try to
'cause
save
they
him.
set that up earlier where she's like, are you still in there? And she's
It's his
wondering if
brother.
Rook is still in there. And I would think that
He's a
Rook might
Roomba,
still
though.
be in there as well.
Friendly
But
Roomba.
obviously, all of us would have been, fuck this, peace out. I'm not going to a Weyland Yutani installation that has been abandoned. No. So obviously,
They don't know about
everybody was like,
aliens.
fuck that, peace out, we're leaving the android behind. But, it's her friend, it's her brother, and she decides to go back for him. She tells the pregnant lady to, if you need to, do the autopilot and get some help, get into the cryos. Why are they going to the Weyland Yutani station in the first place?
because they need to get the cryo pods and some
Why do they
more-
want the cryopod?
Because they need to go somewhere that is 9 years.
9 years away. They want to go to a
Yes.
different planet where there's a sun.
Yes.
But there's a sun. We saw the sun, and they go, "Wow, look at the sun."
But
So your
that's-
planet
I don't
does
know
have a
where-
sun.
It's on the other side. Maybe they should just go to the other
They
side.
go
I
to the
don't
other side
know.
of the planet. But so that was the believability problem that I had. That I guess one of her friends, her boyfriend,
Love interest, maybe?
love interest. It was
Kinda.
really weak love
Yeah.
interest, and I'm almost
Yeah,
glad for it
it's
because I'm
fine.
tired of the aliens. Oh, we're having sex in the shower, and then a fucking alien kills the boyfriend or the girl, whatever. But so the boyfriend shows up. He's got a ship. Now it might have been delved out in dialogue where it's too fast, and upon rewatch we would know. Is it like his father's ship?
Yeah,
he's way too young and has too low of a position to afford.
I think they
something
said
like that.
uncle. He said, my so-and-so's ship has just enough juice to get us there. We
Okay.
just need to get the cryopod, so.
That I understand and I believe, but I don't understand how Weyland Yutani. So how this ties to the first film is genius. I've always wondered about it, and I think it fits right in. So the perfect organism that attacks Ripley at the end, she blows it out of the airlock. And because that was like the proto one, the most badass one, it's called the clear, because it's got the clear one. He was able to survive in space and also create kind of like a chrysalid around him, like a cocoon, to kind of preserve him. and he was hibernating basically throughout space. And so there is wreckage pieces of the old ship, and they show up, and this is all in the beginning, and they cut it open. It's all Weyland-Yutani scientists. And
Bad
of course,
idea.
Yeah, and they try to do the harvesting and shit. But you would think that if they take it back to home base, this is it's not home base. They didn't take it back to home base. They took it back to a Weyland-Yutani installation. And an installation has to orbit a planet, or is it an installation that's just out in space that can fly? At some point, it comes into this planet's orbit, and it's decommissioned or whatever. It's like, but this whole planet is controlled by Weyland-Yutani. So Weyland-Yutani is within earshot of their installation. Why didn't they be like, oh shit, our installation, we lost contact with that installation years ago?
Yeah, it's like maybe somebody needs to go check it out.
And you're telling me they're the first scavengers to decide. So let's not even talk about the company. The company, there's a whole planet of scavengers and desperate people and fucking ships coming in and out and stuff.
They're not
Why
as
did
cool
no ship go over there?
because they didn't have Andy.
That's true. Now, I get that, but you think people would try at least, or will jump back to the company. Why did the company just leave that in space? That makes no sense. I was hoping that they would explain it. Now, here's how we do that. And I'm glad they did it this way, but I need an explanation. Why am I glad they did it this way? Because we got to see universe stuff. We got to see habitat, planet, cars, and it was all done at a perfect level. You know, there's that shot in the trailer, it's almost Blade Runner-like, where outside of her house is just this fucking dystopian future of just people working on a colony to survive.
Cricket powder and tang.
It's just great. It's cool. And so I'm glad we got some of that, because they could have gone the cheaper way. If it was really going on Hulu, it's like, okay, well, you know, this is just a scavenger crew, and they did a job on the planet real quick, and now they're going from one planet to the next, and they go, beep, 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 beep. What is that? There's just an installation that's out there in the middle of nowhere, and then they go to the installation. That removes the proximity of this installation to an entire planet that's controlled by Weyland-Yutani. That would be like, oh shit, there's our installation. We better make sure that everything's okay.
We're working on something big there.
That thing costs $1 trillion.
None of the scientists have reported in over 9 months. Do you think we should fucking talk to them?
Nah, they
So that
should be
makes
fine. They're working on some
huge plot
crazy
hole.
alien.
And maybe it was addressed in a single line or on a single computer screen, or maybe a part was cut out because I wish they would fix that.
It was
plot hole.
raining, Joe.
It was raining real hard.
It was raining really hard when they were trying to leave orbit, and what happens is the communications
So it just showed up just in time.
Can't go through the
meaning
rain.
it wasn't in orbit, or maybe it was in orbit and it was decaying orbit, and it only had a little bit of time before it was
36
going to
hours.
slam into. Yeah, 36 hours, which then turned into 4 hours, which then turned into 36 minutes, which is cool. I mean, that creates the timer. But on this installation, the whole time, there were other aliens. There were already a hive being created. It's just that the section they broke into didn't have it until they released.
And that's what I wanted. I
facehuggers.
wanted more of the, like, just one stalking them, and then they had the tools there. They had like the X-ray thing, the pulse rifles. Like, hopefully they could find like the radar. That would have been, that would have been cool.
Yeah, motion tracker.
Yeah, that would have been cool. It's like, oh, one, and then all of a sudden, like everyone. It was like, we gotta
sure.
fucking.
They
run.
needed to have two more assholes, right?
Yeah.
There was one character that you couldn't understand because of his accent. He was a young adult novel asshole, right? Like everything out of his mouth was horrible, and you're supposed to hate this guy. I think they went a little
I
far
hate
with
Andrew
him.
because
But
he
like,
killed my mom.
yeah, him and like we needed one more, like his friend, and they're like, we need to find this fuel, split up.
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
like two more would have
Oh
been
yeah,
perfect.
and then you get to see one die horribly to facehugger, and it could be our first introduction. And then a fucking
And then
warrior
another
kill.
one die while he's fucking shooting to show that you can have a gun and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they
Yes.
clever girl your ass, and it's
Yes.
just
Yeah. So those two missing. You give us two more characters, and then I could have given you a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like honestly, you're gonna disagree, but like take away that last monster and focus more on the xenomorphs. That would raise it for me.
I need something. I need a reason for these films to exist, because then you're just doing aliens over again, and you're never gonna hit aliens over. It's a 10 out of 10. You're never gonna do it better.
Yeah.
Even if you bring in Colonial Marines, you're never gonna do it as good as. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe you could, but nobody wants to do it because they don't want to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they half-assed. If that's your reason to be, you half-assed your reason to be. So like, cut something else out and really flesh that out. Make it really feel like it's a full third act.
Yeah.
Because it's like a fourth of the third act. It's too short. Like,
what the fuck?
I want to live with
Going
that
real
monster
quick.
and be afraid of that monster too. Though, like for a long.
And a part of me is sad that monster is no longer going to exist. The only reason that monster can be created is because he could be because you give the black liquid, which there's no existing versions of the black liquid left because it was on the ship that blew up on the asteroids, right? So no black liquid, right?
No, the black liquid
No,
is
they-
in the
they have it.
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So that we could see the creature again, but you would have to give it to pregnant women. And another point, I thought my
Babies.
mind was going wild when the pregnant lady was still around, still walking around. What was my mind doing? Oh shit, maybe the aliens, because we've never seen a pregnant lady around aliens, and we have seen a pregnant lady, Ripley, around aliens, and the alien went, "Okay, I'm not gonna kill you."
Wasn't there a pred alien?
So I thought that the pregnant lady would be left alone by the alien, because it's like, okay, so we need that baby to be
You already
born.
have a
I
parasite.
was about to say that. I was gonna say that. I was like, is that too mean?
Yeah, you already
I got you.
And so the motherfucker leaves, and then I was like, genius! There will be a new United States Colonial Marine battalion of nothing but pregnant ladies
Infantry!
going the infantry. Big home belly, and the aliens. Run! It's the pregnant ladies. So, anyways, no, that's not what happened.
Ridiculous.
They probably would. They did fucking take her. They put her in the hive. They didn't care that there was a baby inside there, because the chest burster is up here, so it just gestates there. So they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, they made this something where, like, apparently she was too injured for the face hugger, which, I mean, I guess
That's bullshit.
It's an excuse for this movie.
So that she could still be alive. They
I'll
could find her in the hive.
allow it, but it is
cut her
dumb.
out.
If we're nitpicking, that's dumb.
And cut her out.
Yeah.
Because
So-
people have been missing, like, their lower halves, and, like, the face hugger's like, you don't need legs.
You don't need legs for me to be born.
Nope.
I don't care.
Just right there.
Just like,
Yeah, good
Damn.
stuff. So at one point we get a hello my baby, hello my darling.
wish we did.
Chest burster.
it ruined it every time.
It slithers out. Later on, we see its skin. It's molted. It's later, and it has created a space vagina
Yep.
on the wall. And this was an ability of the original xenomorph that kind of got left in the Easter eggs of Alien. Where the original alien can also lay eggs or create an egg form, and then I think somebody was in an egg form in the behind the scenes or a cut scene that was actually filmed and stuff. So they kind of bring that idea back that the gross matter that the aliens create around their hive, they can also create gross matter to help them gestate to speed their build, because he goes from the chest buster, goes inside the alien vagina thing, and then pops out as a big adult, fully formed. And I like the scene of him.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's great. And also very creative that it's like, we got to use the tools around us. And so the young novel guy, adult novel guy, sticks in a fucking taser stun rod into the space vagina, and he fucks it up. And you hear that it's like, it's fine. And I love the fact that it's a perfect organ. It comes out just fine.
Yeah.
So fuck you. Who did that? Which one of you did that? I'm gonna fucking kill you. And because you can't stop it. It's fucking crazy. Not with the tools that you have. You gotta get them pulse rifles, but
A freeze gun.
yes.
so yeah, then we have the cool scene with this X-ray thing where she sees it inside her, and that's body horror. I like that they included that. Seemed very creative. chest burster surprisingly does not do the
No.
traditional chest
just
burst.
Same.
I think
Opens
they
up a little
also
flap.
mention a few lines where it's like did it have enough time to fully gestate? You know, maybe that can explain how it was a little weaker when it didn't want to come out fully. But later it did expel itself from her body. And so that was a cool scene. And how did they get the facehugger off it? Yeah, they froze the tail of the facehugger so it let go. And then that facehugger, I was hoping, because I know from the board games and the video games and the RPGs that the facehuggers are going to die without the, you know, after they've left the embryo, they die. So you won't have to worry about it. So I thought it was going to and then just die. But no, he actually gets away. But somewhere in the States.
He dies somewhere else.
He dies somewhere else.
Dies off screen? Bullshit. Main character right there.
Later on, another great fucking scene is how do they deal with the fact that facehuggers have no fucking eyes? And it's true. I always thought, how the fuck do they see you? Do they know where you at? Well, sound, also heat signatures, and so basically their little mandibles, they're kind of like doing a little bit of a searching, kind of feeling heat and looking for it. And what they did is they raised their temperatures of the room and raised their temperatures and walked through the room. It's genius, creative scene. And stupid bitch, help me on the fucking radio. I would have turned that radio off.
But at the same time, they're like,
it
all
is
right.
his girlfriend, or
His
it's his
sister.
pregnant sister. I'm sorry, it's his sister. And then,
Better not be. It's
and
Space
as he's hearing that she's gonna die, you know, he's sweating and he gets goosebumps, and then the
Well, before we enter the room, Andy's like, yeah, we go in there. You can't sweat. You can't show fear. You can't do this. You can't do that. I was like, Andy, I'm not going in there, man. I'm terrified. I'm already scared.
Andy, why don't you just go in there? They're not after you. Why don't you just kill every single one of them that's in there, you robot bitch?
It's like, Andy, save me.
I am curious if the facehuggers really wanted to, if they can just, like, you know, use their tail and fucking kill you. If they know it's an android, just shut the android down. So that's possibly why. It's all like the unknown, and it's really cool. But there's like 80 facehuggers in the film, so that's cool. They, like I said, the knob of facehuggers was ramped up.
that was fucking scary.
Great. Okay, so that was a great scene. What else? That you have the water scene when the facehuggers are first. So they go into an area so they go for the cryo tubes. They realize the cryo tubes only have 3 years of battery instead of 9 years that they need. So then they're like, okay, we got to go to a different part of the installation. I was like, perfect. Because that's like going into the basement in the haunted house. Yeah. I loved it. And so they go get the batteries. Unfortunately, the batteries are in a super secure cryo lab. And the cryo lab has all of the facehuggers in pouches. And as they activate it, it warms up all the things. They come alive. They dump in the water. And that's how
terrible design.
Yeah. Humans.
Terrible.
Pure
idiots.
Fucking hubris that we can control the aliens.
You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot put like Jurassic
And then
Park.
even worse
Jurassic
is
Park.
the one installation where we have the perfect organism that can probably eradicate all of humanity if it's left out of control. Communications has stopped with the installation. We'll wait. We'll wait whenever they want to contact us, they can. Do we need to send ships to investigate? Send the Colonial Marines?
Well, I mean, so Rook says that Wayland's dead, but Rook only thinks Wayland's dead, right? Because Prometheus happens after this, right?
No, this is way the timeline has nothing to do with that. This is in between Alien and Aliens. And where does Prometheus take place in that timeline? I actually don't know.
Because I think
Prometheus is both the prequel and then also he's older, and so then it's later on.
Because I thought that they thought that Wayland's dead in the beginning of Prometheus, and he's like, I've been alive this whole time.
Wayland's not dead in at this time.
He says he's dead.
No,
Rook says he's dead.
It's Alien Resurrection and then Prometheus. Then Alien Covenant's the last one. In order.
Okay, well, so he's not dead at this time then, because Alien Resurrection is after Alien 3. Alien 3 is after Aliens, so it's no, he's still alive.
Well,
I'm not sure why he says he's dead.
Rook said that this is
maybe there's multiple Waylands because of space and how many years in the future.
Or maybe he was just faking his death because he did that a couple times.
Okay, yeah. I didn't hear the line. You heard the line, and it's interesting. I'm curious to see where we are.
Because he's talking about the black goo, and he's like, this is the black goo that Waylon gave his life to try to figure out. Like, it was life.
No, the way I interpreted that line was this is what all that he was doing was for. And you're saying that's like a past tense thing. He's now dead, and
dead,
we need to. All right, well, we'll have, maybe that's another plot hole if that's what he said. Interesting. Yeah. So what else can we talk about? I love this, so I love this lore in the section. So we got to make sure we get everything. So the fucking alien baby that turns into an alien adult. So it's a human xeno hybrid. These were behind-the-scene ideas that they were trying to do with Alien Resurrection. You even saw some of it. Yeah. Sigourney Weaver in the room where she fucking flames all of the weird experiments, and one of them was like her as an alien that melded with the alien. So they finally got to do that.
This is where she's playing basketball.
It was cool.
She's like shooting it.
Yes. We don't mention that. Who the fuck did you expect? Santa Claus? And it's the guy in his little wheelchair with the guns.
Wow.
It had Hellboy in it. Ron Perlman. Yeah. It was pretty bad, but goofy and kind of a fun watch. It was a kind of a bad movie. It was like a B movie. Fun watch. Anyways, but also I like how the human alien xenomorph hybrid kind of looks a little bit like the Prometheus guys.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And he had black eyes, and he was like smiling the whole time. It was like super creepy. I loved it. It was good. But I want a little more grossness. Need a little more grossness. Mucus.
Yeah, like a little tail.
Something.
Little nub.
No, that tail did eventually grow where he could whip things, and that's actually how. So the conclusion. She's like, okay, I need to kill this thing. It's on the fucking ship. Yeah. And so she tries to lure it to the cargo hold, to break the cargo hold off of the ship, and she'll fly off safely, and it will fall into the rings of Saturn and blow up. I know it's not Saturn. But so she kicks the seed that it was born from and uses that blood to create a small hole in the bottom of the tank, which then sucks her through. She was able to put a spacesuit on right before she had hypothermia because the temperature dropped. Why did the temperature drop?
Because she
did something with the pipe and
she had the freeze gun that got broken.
Yeah,
and so it was filling the whole fucking space with super cold
cryo fuel. Okay. Man, it's crazy powerful.
All right, so then she gets in her spacesuit. She does that, and she attaches herself to these chains that earlier they said don't touch that to Andy, and so So the ship is flying, and she's like flying, she falls out of the ship. He falls out of the ship to his death, presumably. But
he's still alive. He lives there now.
Yeah, as she's lifting herself up. So you blow it out the airlock. In this case, you blow it out the cargo hold or with a acid blood. But he's still there, and his face is kind of melting because he's taking damage. I don't know, and it's a fucking crazy space shit. And then he uses his tentacle penis thing to try to break open her face mask, and it's pretty cool. And how's she knock his ass out? He's holding on to the ship with his tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, she jiggles the rope because she undoes all three locks. Lever. Yeah, and the rope is touching the lever, so she pulls her rope, and then the entire cargo thing drops, and it doesn't smash her in a million pieces. She goes right through the hole.
Okay, so she got super lucky. She's like, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to take your ass with me, and because he's attached to the cargo hold, so when the whole cargo hold goes, he goes because he's attached to that, and she manages to snake through the hole as the cargo slams into the ring, and presumably he dies as it explodes. But who knows? Maybe he could survive and crystallize. And then when Waylon finally shows up, hey, where's our station at? It's in pieces all across this galaxy. Well, let's look. Oh, there's a crystallid. What do you call it? Fossil.
Oh.
And then they can do the same thing that they did at the beginning of this film, unfossilize it, and have the human babies. Or, even easier, is by the end of this film, they have Rain, Andy, and a bottle of...
lots of juice.
Did you say that
They have
lots
it.
of juice.
Yeah.
Because that's where she puts the juice in her neck is on the ship.
She's
so.
just waiting there for them.
Yeah, so she's got the juice.
Okay.
top.
So juice is still
They have
there.
a
So
couple
Waylon
more.
can grab her juice.
And they're going to paradise, right? This is a non-corporate world that's been terraformed. There's a sun there.
She's always wanted.
And it looks like there's farms and it's beautiful, and she's going to crash land there with alien juice, and she's going to kill everybody.
Yeah, she's a wonderful person.
Yeah. She should have been cast as Ellie. Didn't she look like a ton like Ellie?
She looked like Ellie. She looked, I think, young actress, and this whole cast was younger than I thought. I was really worried that it wasn't going to, like, because I wanted the older and U.S. Marine Corps, but the fact that they were all scavengers and trying to get something, and they were all killed up pretty fast, I was like, all right, good.
I wanted nothing but senior citizens.
Seniors fighting aliens.
Yes.
With a hottie older actress for Joe. What do you want?
Judy.
Kate Beckinsale?
No, way too young.
Yeah.
Judi Dench.
Y'all are crazy.
You don't see that.
You've never seen that before. You're talking about retreading old stuff. This is something that you've never seen before.
In that case, just bring back Sigourney Weaver.
How are these senior citizens going to deal with xenomorphs? They can't run
No, it's true.
with their wits.
There's some crazy. Okay, well, they turn on 0G and fire pulse rifles and then fly through the acid.
Shoot.
They're going to fight better in Zero G because their knees won't hurt.
Damn.
I don't know. They throw metal mucil at them and they run them over with their
Rascal Scooters.
Rascal Scooters.
Neat.
All right, I think that's a good one to end on. Is there any other?
No, they cover pretty much everything.
Rook's dead. The station blows up.
It would have been cool if Mother had a little bit bigger role.
Yeah.
The supercomputer and the supercomputer giving instructions to, thing. Maybe it also would have been cool to do. There's no after credit scenes, by the way. Don't stick to the end. It would have been cool if they did one. Maybe maybe Andy has some of Rook's programming left over embedded in his system, or maybe we learn more about why her father has an android and gave her daughter the android to protect her.
Yeah, because I was thinking at the very end, like Rook would have kind of hijacked their plane when she's sleeping and he's plugged in. He kind of fucks with them and then starts taking them somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Rook, wants them to, take her to another installation and continue the research. And then they say, fuck you, we're not doing that. We manually fly away. And he's like, don't do that. And then I'm like, how is he still alive? Because the installation was already shown to be blowing up. But I guess his section of the installation was not blown up yet. And then it does shear off and it shows. And he was like, oh. And I thought, are they going to do something stupid where like the alien kills him so he gets his up and comings? But no, he dies to the ring, which is fine. Really bad CGI effect on his face. Very uncanny valley. Only in shots where he's not talking or there's shadows does it look somewhat good. There was like one or two stills, and I was like, then do that. Put him in shadows. Every once in a while, I'm showing him not talk, and then the times he's talking is in shadows. Stop it.
It feels like a lot, because when he's lying on the ground, like we see dead Rook lying on the ground.
Yeah, and it looked like any other android.
It doesn't look anything like Rook,
right.
Which leads me to believe that I think that after they're like, well,
let's make this look.
Let's make this Rook. It's like, that's
and
cool.
Maybe that's why it looks so bad, because they had to superimpose the face over a different face structure.
Yeah,
give him a mustache.
I'm believing this theory more and more. We'll have to see in the special.
It does. It looks as
like
bad.
Henry Cavill.
It looks as bad as that. Yeah.
Except instead of
just this, it's the whole face that is the mustache.
It's real bad. It's real bad. Okay, and as far as what they could do with it, her father works for Weyland Yutani, so he can be somebody important.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Everyone's
mother.
Yeah, his last order
She's
is
dead.
make sure Rainey's
fuck,
dead.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just her.
Well, he's not dead. He just pretended he was dead.
Her dad is
coughing up blood for no reason. A joke.
Yeah, joke on you.
God.
He's an android now. Joe, God damn it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to see where they can go with it if they want to go with it with here. Because the Alien television series, if it says Alien Earth, then you better fucking show Earth. And if you don't show Earth, then fuck your series.
Well, you have it on your shirt. United Senior Citizens Menace.
Bug Hunters.
Oh.
Okay. Senior citizen, United States
Military.
Colonial Marines.
Medicare.
Colonial Marines. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And leave your ideas down below. What did you like? What did you dislike?
Is this a 10? Tell us how we're wrong.
Where can they go with it? Or is it a fucking 5 and we're wrong? It's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. The fucking Alien Covenant was a 5. Fucking Prometheus. That shit. Well, there's cool little bits and pieces there for lore in those films. They just, no.
But you wouldn't want to go back and watch it.
No.
Absolutely not.
This one I would watch.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
for
watch
sure.
it, yeah. So that's good, and I want to see behind the scenes. We'll see where it ends up. If Disney only wants to put money behind Star Wars and Acolyte
And Deadpool.
and Deadpool. Well, I'd definitely give more money to Deadpool, which, by the way...
They earned enough money.
Hugh Jackman got $1 billion at the box office, guys, and Hugh Jackman said, yeah, I'm up for more Wolverine. He's recently said...
Until he's 90.
That's what Ryan Reddit said, and it's true. As long as they keep bringing up those money.
Put him in sleeves, and so he doesn't have to, work out like that.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he did his job. He showed that off. Now you can go fat if you want. There's a fat Wolverine. So, all right. Anyways, thank y'all. See y'all on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, everybody.